welcome to this explainer. Okay, picture this. You're walking through a park and you spot a fluffy puppy, a sleepy cat, or I don't know, maybe even a tiny frog. Before you even realize what you're doing, your hand is just reaching out. It's this instinctual, almost uncontrollable urge that pretty much all of us share, right? You see a fluffy dog, your brain screams, pet it. A sleepy cat, pet it. A tiny goat, absolutely, 100% pet it. Well, today we're going to dig into exactly why that happens, and more importantly, how to channel that urge into a practical guide for respectful animal interactions.
So, here's the game plan. We're going to break this down step by step. We'll start with the cuteness brain hack, move into the ancient biology of touch, look at the dangers of cute, go over a solid guide to animal boundaries, and wrap it all up with the true power of connection. Let's jump right in.
To kick things off, why on earth does your brain command you to pet a tiny goat? Honestly, think about it. Why does our highly evolved, super logical adult brain just get completely overwritten by the mere sight of a baby animal? I mean, sometimes even a baby crocodile somehow looks like it deserves a gentle little head pat, even though our logical brain is definitely saying, do not put your hands anywhere near those jaws. Why exactly does logic totally fail us here?
Well, that brings us to section 1, the cuteness brain hack.
It all comes down to a very specific set of physical traits. We're talking big eyes, a round face, a tiny little nose, a soft body, and that adorable clumsy movement. When your brain registers these baby-like features, it's not just seeing an animal anymore. It instantly flags vulnerability. It's telling you, hey, this thing is small, it's harmless, and it desperately needs care. This is literally the exact biological mechanism that turns a perfectly normal, totally professional adult into someone baby-talking in a super high-pitched voice.
Quite literally, your brain has been hacked by cuteness. It's a total evolutionary trap. This visual hack triggers an undeniable hardwired urge to nurture and protect. You are totally falling for a biological trick, one that actually ensures the survival of vulnerable creatures by practically forcing you to care for them.
And that perfectly sets up section 2, the ancient biology of touch.
You know, long before we had spoken language, sprawling cities, smartphones, or emojis, we had touch. It's really one of the absolute oldest languages in the animal kingdom. And there's this profound, soothing biology to it. When you feel warm, living fur beneath your hands, it gives your brain this constant, gentle feedback. It actually activates the reward and bonding systems in your body. It literally slows your breathing down and quiets your mind. Through touch, we're basically speaking this ancient, universal language that just says, hey, I'm safe and you're safe.
And if we trace the evolution of the petting bond, especially with dogs, it's like watching a wild story unfold. Thousands of years ago, the least aggressive ancient wolves just started hanging out near human campfires. Then, generations later, that tentative proximity evolved into sharing food and mutually guarding each other, a shift that literally changed both of our species. Fast forward to the modern day, and dogs have actually evolved to read our facial expressions, our body language, and even our moods. So when a dog wags its tail and leans into your hand, that's not just some random reflex. That is a highly evolved two-way communication loop.
But, as you might guess, our biology isn't exactly flawless. Let's look at section 3, the danger of cute. There is this wild internal battle that happens when we see certain animals. On one side, you've got your emotional brain just lighting up, going, oh, look at that adorable tiny bear cub. And it's directly fighting your survival brain, which should absolutely be screaming, step back right now, it has claws, teeth, and wild instincts. It's a funny juxtaposition, sure, but it's also genuinely dangerous. See, this cuteness system activates for wild animals exactly the same way it does for a golden retriever. It completely confuses our brains into equating cute with safe.
Because of that glitch, we really have to stick to one golden rule. Admire wild animals with your eyes, not your hands. Period. Cuteness can really scramble our instincts, and a wild animal might look soft and totally innocent, but it still has fear, boundaries, and wild instincts. We absolutely have to override that emotional brain of ours and respect their space from a safe distance. So, now that we've established the ground rules for the wild, let's bring it back home with section 4. A guide to animal boundaries. Let's treat this like a literal cheat sheet for animal consent. Because, look, just because we have the urge to pet an animal doesn't automatically mean the animal wants to be petted. An animal's physical response is their way of saying yes or no. The yes signs are usually pretty clear. Things like leaning in, purring, wagging their tail, or maybe giving you a gentle nudge. That means they are comfortable and actively enjoying the interaction. On the flip side, pay very close attention to the no signs. If you see flattened ears, licking their lips, hiding their tail, turning away, or just completely freezing up, well, the animal is clearly saying no.
So, if you want to get this right, just follow 3 simple steps. Step 1. Notice the cuteness. Just acknowledge that your brain is being hacked right now. Step 2. Ask for consent. Offer your hand out and actively read their body language. And step 3. Respect their boundary, no matter what their answer is. If you run your petting instinct through this simple framework, you'll ensure you're interacting respectfully, safely, and with real empathy.
And that leads us right into our final section, the true power of connection. Why do we really crave this touch so much? Well, animals live entirely in the present moment. They offer us this incredibly simple connection without any judgment, without any complicated questions. When you sit down to pet a dog or a cat, they don't care if you messed up a big presentation at work today. They don't care if your weekend plans fell apart. A goat certainly does not care about your inbox full of unread emails. Petting an animal pulls us right out of our past regrets and our future anxieties and drops us straight back into the warmth and peace of the present moment.
And the beauty of that connection is that it only thrives on trust. There's a great thought on this. Real affection is not forcing contact. Real affection is noticing when the animal says yes and respecting when it says no. Listening to an animal's boundaries doesn't weaken your relationship with them. Actually, scratch that, it's the complete opposite. It builds a profound foundation of genuine, mutual trust. It makes the bond you share infinitely stronger.
So, to wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with one final, kind of provocative thought to chew on. Are we petting animals because they need love, or because we do? Is this deep instinctual urge really about comforting the creature sitting right in front of us, or is it fundamentally about curing our own, deeply human need to feel connected, grounded, and safe? The next time you reach out to pet a dog or a cat, just remember, your brain is doing something ancient, emotional, and profoundly human. Just make sure you ask for their consent first.